Hello, welcome back to yet another edition of our Python program. So in today's lesson, we are going to focus on index error in list, and we talked a little bit of loops, for loops. As you know, index error is one of the most important error in list because it's working with the way you arrange your data in data structures. So like if you are writing a lot of code or a lot of items that are more than 1,000 items. So in these items now, you want to see how long is these items are, or what are the number of items you have in this list, the length of the list. So sometimes, because of the huge amount of data, we encounter short error known as index error. So in today's lesson, we are going to see a little bit of this type of errors, and we'll see how the range of these errors occur and how to correct this type of error. And after which, we talk about loop. Loops are just things that happens over and over again. Because for an example, if you have a list of items, then you want to print this list of items in your console. So instead of you repeatedly giving your commands as print, it's just simple. You can use for loop to execute this type of program continuously without you having to call each line of code to print. Okay, so in this lesson today, you are going to see even you have 1,000 lines, instead of you repeating the execution of the program, you can just give this for loop, then it can give you an output over and over again. So in this lesson, we are going to see short code, how we apply this type of code to continuously perform execution. And again, if we want to access data individually in Python or in some other programming languages as used in data structures, to access this data individually, we use what we refer to as for loop. Okay, if you have a list of data, a list of information, you want to access this type of data individually, we use the for loop to call this type of program so that we can execute this piece of data individually. So basically, this is all about list, but as we are running the programs, I will explain and you can understand, digest more information on it, so as you can get a very perfect start on Python. So if this is your first time of coming across this type of video or information, I recommend you go back to the previous lesson we start from day one. Then you can catch up with this program, because every day is just a continuous process. We are just going through from the basics, and we are going from basics to advanced. So I advise you, if this is the first time of you come across the video, just start from the basics, wherein we start for, because this program is run remotely, no need for you to install the Python software, so you can access this information every time, everywhere. Okay, so now let's see. As you know, this is remotely performed, so you open your replica account and we'll see how we use this type of data, how we use this type of list, how we encounter errors, what are the items involved. So let's go. So here we are on replica account in terms of list. So again, we started with this one today so that it will be very easy for us to know how we are going to encounter this type of error, as I said. So now, suppose you have the names of continents here, where you have Africa to America here. Yeah, you see, for this one is very simple because I just choose to use this simple as continent. Suppose you want to give all the names of the countries in the world. For an example, as you know, you have a huge number of data. So this is just a simple scenario I just want us to see, in case you are working with different items that are huge as compared to this. This is just basic, because the index here, in Python, the index starts from 0 Then if you want to access the first information here, we have dealt this one before. So this one is index 0, this is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we have 5 names of continents here. So now if you say print the names of continents, for an example, let's say here in this square bracket, as you know, this from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5. So if you say here 6, you put in here index 6. So then if you print, you can even see here the error it gives, because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we go ahead and run this program, we'll get an error referred to as index error. So let's see, leave this one here, this piece of code here as active code. So now I disable it by giving this asterisk so that it will not disturb our code, because when this one was showing, it gives us syntax error. So now we try to correct this. And now let's see, if we disable this one, then we apply the same index here. Let's see the index error. Let's say again 6, and we run this program. So it shows here index error, print name of continents, this tuple index out of range. So either of the two, here you can see if you are out of the range of the index, it will tell you this is index error, because this is more than what we want. Okay, so now let's see again. We say 5 here. 5, index 5 on this list is what? America. So if we print names of continents index 5, we get this America. So let's clear first our console, and now let's print this one, and we see, okay, index 5 is America. Okay, so now suppose you have a huge number of data wherein you don't know exactly the index of the country or the continent you want to print, or you don't even know the exact length of the data. So in that case, you use what we refer to as length, number of lengths. So we use num. So let's see here. We say number of continents, say num underscore num of continent. So we say equals to length names of continents. Names of continents. So close this brackets. So we see now here, you see number of continents is say equals to the length. Now we don't know. Suppose you don't know the length of this continents. Maybe you have over 1,000 continents or over 1,000 countries. So for you to know, you call this length function so that you know exactly how many continents or how many countries you have on your list. So after this one, you can say now print. Now we can say print number of continents. Say print names of continents, because that's names. Print names of continents. So here, let's see. Now you are asked to print names of continents. So if we run this code again, and we see, So now you see, you print everything. Okay, print names of continents. Here we print first, we'll call this one print continent this, America. You see names of continent, length of continents, print names of continents. So the length starts from Africa to America. So now let's check for the index. So all these were just doing a short of recap, but in different formats due to index error. So suppose you want to access again this same America on the list. As you know, like here we have about 6, index 5, which is the last one. So you can simply say again, print number of continents, use a square brackets here. Okay, let's just see names of continents, and here you will give a square brackets here. Then inside this square bracket to say number of continents, number of continents. Number of continents. Here again, let's run this and see. Track back error. You want to access the last one, you say number of continents, we say -1. So you know -1 is the last continent here. So you can run this again, print. So you can see here, when you run this, number of continent -1 at the end of the list is America. Okay, because I run twice. This first one I call first, this 5, and use again -1 for the last. The index of -1 starts from the end of the list and comes to the left. So basically, this is just what we refer to as list. We treated this one before, and you see the way we encounter this type of error, which is index error, because the index here starts from 0, and at the end of the list here is -1. Okay, so now let's see this tuple in terms of list again that deals with different items. So here, let's see, you can go to your browser again here. Let's say we type dirty dozen list. This dirty dozen list is wherein we can check for different vegetables and fruits, and we see which of these items that are prone to disease, pesticides. So if you go to Google, you browse, you can see dirty dozen list of fruits and vegetables, the updated one. So here, if you click, you open here, you can see different vegetables. And this is very important because it even gives you it even tells you how you can use a balanced diet through the use of these vegetables. So here we see the internet is a bit slow, but we are here. So you see the updated list here, you can see you have different fruits and vegetables that are prone to pesticides. So here we are going to create a simple code that involves a lot of these items here, fruits and vegetables, and later we group them together. As you see here, they group all these vegetables and fruits together. So we group them, and when we print this, then we try to separate fruits and vegetables in terms of list. So this one is referred to as nested list. Okay, this is a nested list, because if we combine two lists together and print as one, it's a nested list. So we can see again, we'll go to our program and try to run this again. As you see here, we start from strawberry, Spanish, kale, apples, grapes. So let's go. So here you see, I try to disable this program recipes before, then I can clear the console. So now we have here dirty dozen, where we have strawberries, Spanish, kale, nectarines, apples, grapes, bell, hot pepper, carrots. So you see we have different. So now let's say here, let's differentiate these items in terms of fruit and vegetables. So now you can see here, for a list that contains two lists, as you can see, this one list, which is the dirty dozen, contains two lists inside, which is fruits and vegetables. So now if we want to print these available items now, that print dirty dozen here, you can get all the list. Okay, you can get all the list of items here. So if we say here print which is dirty dozen, so if we print this here, this one here, let's go ahead and run. So you see here, we get all the list of items here. We get all the list of items. But mind you, we separate now this list of items into two categories, wherein we have one for fruits and the other one for vegetables. Okay, but all of them are in this dirty dozen list. So now suppose we want to print these two lists now in terms of nested list. So we can say print. First we say dirty dozen, and say dirty dozen must be equals to, we open a square bracket this time. Instead of that other bracket, we say fruits, comma, vegetables, So now we can say print dirty dozen. So let's see what I'm trying to talk about. Dirty dozen. So here, this one, now if we print this dirty dozen here, as you see, we have two lists. The first list here is fruits. The second list is vegetables. So if we say print dirty dozen, we have a nested list. Okay, this list contains two items, that is fruits and vegetables. So let's go ahead again and run this. Run. So here we see the outputs. This first output is for this print dirty dozen. It prints everything. And you see this other one here, where you have first the square bracket before you have this bracket, and the last one here you have the square bracket. This simply tells us that we have two lists inside. As you check here around, you can see it first prints these items. We stop here to pairs, and the next item starts from Spanish, curly, belly, hot pepper, pears, celery, and tomatoes. So this one is refers to as nested list, okay, because this list of items belongs to one data, which is 30 dozen. So this is just a simple scenario that tells you how flexible this type of data structures we can use. It's very flexible. You can play with this code, you can change everything, you can interact with the code, and you see how you operate with this. So now let's talk about loop. So we can clear our console. List, on the other hand, as I said at the start of the video, is just things that happens over and over again. So now suppose we have 3 types of data. So basically for loop, this is just a list of items. Here you can see for items in list of item, we have your column, do something to each item. So here if we have list of items as before, we have fruits. So let's just take just 3 items here. I will say fruits equals to, let's just take 3 items, say fruits. So open a square bracket. Here we can just use 3 items to say apple, and just say apple, and just use 3 items, apple, peach, peach, and the last one we say pear. So we have these 3 type of items here. So first let's try to disable this, so that I'm just trying to explain on this. It won't affect our code. Okay, so now here we have fruits, which is apple, peach, and pear. So now if we want to access the item individually and print one after the other or one by one, so we can simply say print fruits. So if we say here print fruits, let's see what will happen here. So let's go ahead and run this program and see. It just prints fruits, okay, everything. So now we want this one to appear in a horizontal way. So let's see. So we can say we use the for loop. If we want this item, as you see before, when we run this program, it appears vertically. So now we want to use for loop so that we can access this item one after the other. One fruit will execute, and the other one will execute, and the other one. Okay, so here we can say for fruit in fruits, we give our colon. Say for fruits in fruits, we use our colon here. As you see here, this one is the for loop. here we said what? For fruit in fruit. So fruits, one fruit belongs to fruits. This one is plural and this one is singular. So now if we say print fruits, now if we say here print fruit, you can see if you run this piece of code here, you can see the outputs will appear in a vertical order, because first you call this item first, it executes, then it jumps to the other line, call this other item, executes, and so on and so forth. So let's see here, go ahead and run. It executes this first one. Okay, now you see here it appears apple, peach, and pear. Okay, so again you can play with this code here. Let's say you want to add something here to each of the item, so you can simply use plus. You can use the plus sign and you say, let's say we want to add you can add any item. So you print this apple, then it comes with apple and what you add. You print peach, it comes with peach and what you add. So okay, let's say here we add pie. So shifts, we give this one again, we say pie. So now if we go ahead again, let's clear, okay, we can clear the console. So now if you will run this program, it will give us fruits for fruits. For fruits in fruits, we say print fruits plus pie. So first it prints the fruits and the next line will be fruits plus pie. You can't see the plus, but it can just say apple pie, peach pie. So let's see again. So you see here, you see this one is what? Apple pie, peach pie, pear pie. So you add pie to the list of items here. You can play with this code. If you want to give space to the fruits and what you add, you can simply come here, just space, and you run your program again. So you see here, it gives you a space of the item, apple pie, peach pie, pear pie. So I hope you understood how we use a loop and how it's executed in a program and how these instructions are performed. You can go ahead, play with this code, try to modify as you want, use different items. Don't forget to subscribe on the channel, give us a like, thumbs up, and every week we bring a content of this. And if you have any question, any queries concerning this for loop and the indented error we discussed about, don't forget to give it in the comment section. We are ready 24/7 to respond to those comments. So once more, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching the video. See you on the next lesson.